Hey Eagles fans, did you know that we have an Eagles-only channel here at Chat Sports? All you gotta do is go to youtube.com/Eagles Now for all the latest Eagles news and rumors. If you're wondering what that looks like, we're going to go ahead and play a little sneak peek of that channel for you guys right now. Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now, and as promised, the long-awaited Eagles Mailbag is here, where you guys, on I think Monday's video, used the hashtag Eagles, got your questions in, and I'm going to try to answer basically every single one. I think I pulled as many as I possibly could to fit in this video. If we don't get to all of them, we'll probably do another Eagle Mailbag in the coming days, because you guys have a lot of good questions, and I hopefully have a lot of good answers for you guys. Let's go ahead and start with Samuel Kim, who asked, hashtag Eagles, do you think the Eagles will sign Jadeveon Clowney or Everson Griffen or trade for Yannick Ngakoue? Great question here. We've been talking about it all week long. Started with a video, I believe it was a couple days ago. I think it was the Wednesday video where I talked about free agent additions the Eagles could possibly have, and then we talked about it, obviously, in the Eagles news and rumors whenever we got into Derek Barnett's option, and then, of course, the fact that the D-line's good, but I think it could still be better. Here's the deal. If you're wondering if we have the money to do it, the answer is yes. The Eagles have the 5th most cap space following the NFL draft right now, about $23 million overall. That can change based on rookie contracts, but they'll still have enough to get any one of these guys. And I think if you look at a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, despite the fact that numbers weren't exactly eye-popping last year, as I said in my video this week, he's an elite defensive end. I mean, if you put Jadeveon Clowney on the current Eagles, that is a stupid good starting defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles. You think about moving Brandon Graham to more of a backup role, rotate him in there, but put Clowney next to Hargrave, next to Cox, next to Barnett, mix in Malik Jackson. That defensive line is great. Everson Griffen would be cheaper, a little bit older as he's getting kind of into that mid, or I should say early 30 range, but the Eagles went out and got Chris Long, who was an older pass rusher who had a lot of postseason experience with New England, and he was fantastic, especially his first 2 years in Philadelphia. His only 2 years in Philadelphia, of course, a big hit on Case Keenum, which led to the interception of Patrick Robinson, the pick 6, and the Eagles were off and running in the title game. But Griffen had 8 sacks last year and was really good, despite the fact that the Vikings did not want to go ahead and bring him back. So either one of those guys would make sense, because you mix them in with Graham, with Barnett, with Sweat, with Avery, and you kind of go with, Graham, Barnett are good, but Sweat and Avery are not exactly the best rotational backup guys in there. Sweat didn't do much last year, and Avery, I think, is still a big question mark. They're trying to develop him, whatever that means. So I think they should. Now, Yannick is going to cost probably a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick. I'd do that as well. It's a matter of paying him. So it's easier to get Clowney or Griffen. You don't have to trade for him. But Yannick's trade value is dropping because when traded during the draft, I think Yannick's a real possibility as well. Any one of them, let's just say this, would be great in an Eagle uniform, in my opinion. You guys think the Eagles need another defensive end? If you do, type 1 down below for yes. And type 2 down below for no. I think they do, so I don't know if you agree with me. Let me know in the comments section. Christian Stewart asked, I think that Jalen Reagor could be better than Henry Ruggs. Geez, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. I mean, Reagor is interesting because 2019, the stats weren't good. The 2018 stats you see right now were good. If Jalen Reagor's 2018 would have been the same as his 2019 in terms of stats, he probably would have been very justified at number 21 overall, and we'd all be saying, oh, what a great pick. Problem is, he did have a lot of drops in 2019, and he did have production drop as well, despite the fact he did have a bad quarterback, which I guess is on his side, but still, it's tough. I think Ruggs is going to have an overall better career. Now, he might not have a better career because he's in Oakland with Derek Carr throwing him the football, but I would have taken Ruggs over Jalen Reagor, but he wasn't there, and that's why, of course, the Eagles had to take Jalen Reagor. The real question is Justin Jefferson versus Jalen Reagor in terms of which one is going to be better, because the Eagles did pass on Justin Jefferson, and they took Jalen Reagor. With that being said, the Eagle wide receiver depth chart to me looks pretty good overall. I mean, Jeffrey, he's not going to be there in 2020. I'm convinced he's going to be cut. We talked about that a couple days ago. But you got Jackson, you got Reagor, and you obviously have a lot of kind of guys who you hope are going to turn out in terms of Hightower and Marquise Goodwin. And so, and obviously I still have a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Greg Ward. So I think they'll be okay. The question will be, how will we grade Jalen Reagor going forward? Well, we'll grade him based on who was still on the board whenever the Eagles picked at number 21. Ayuk was there, Higgins was there, Chenault was was there, and Jefferson were all there. Through 4 receivers, I probably could have convinced myself would be better than the one that we got in Jalen Reagor. So if they have better careers, that means Howie and Doug Peterson whiffed on this one, but there's no way to say right now. We just got to wait and see what happens in the coming months and years as he's going to go ahead and be an Eagle. Who do you guys think will have more touchdowns in Philadelphia, though, this year? Deshaun Jackson or Jalen Reagor? Type J for Jackson, type R for Reagor. I'd bet Jackson, but if Reagor's as good as the Eagles seem to think he is, then he might be pretty good in terms of touchdowns overall. Let's see. Lombardo asked, do you love your Baylor players? Please, P.S. I send my deepest regards to RG3 for you. Okay, this is funny. I do love my Baylor players. If you're new to the channel, I graduated from Baylor. I called Baylor games. I've been in Baylor locker rooms. I've been in Baylor new press conferences. I mean, I was surrounded by Baylor in my college career, and I interviewed a lot of future NFL stars. I mean, I was right there watching CeeDee Lamb. I watched Baker Mayfield. I watched Denzel Mims. I wasn't there for RG3, but I met RG3. So I love the Baylor players. I've seen them up close, but a lot of the guys I talk about here in the channel are great players. Mims is going to be really, really good. And obviously, I thought CeeDee Lamb was good. I saw him in person when Baylor played Oklahoma. I like him. I was never an RG3 fan because, of course, he played for the Washington Redskins, but I digress. Poor RG3. He's a backup right now in Baltimore. He'll be fine. But yes, Lombardo, I do love my Baylor Bears. I'm a little bit biased. Also, I do love when you guys click the notification bell. A little transition there, right? You like that? Listen, if you're subscribed to the channel, like 9,000 of you guys are, and you need to click the notification bell as well, I'll tell you why. When you click the notification bell, that lets you guys be basically told when I drop a new video. Drop a new video, your phone will say, New Eagles Report. Here it is. You can watch it. That helps you be notified whenever we go ahead and drop new stuff here on the channel, which is very often, by the way. And if you're subscribed, that means you want to be notified anyway, so just click the notification bell. That way YouTube doesn't get its way, and we can actually get the videos to you guys a little bit faster. Couple more here. Yasiel Lopez asked, how do you feel about moving Mills back to cornerback 2 and letting Kayvon, I guess that's Kayvon Wallace, be our strong safety? You know, how raw is Kayvon Wallace going to be? Remember, Brian Dawkins had a tweet earlier this week saying, be patient with him, let him develop into the player he needs to become. He'll be on the field, and he can play in the nickel as well, but I think they're going to go ahead and leave Mills there in the secondary. I think it's going to look like this. Slay on one side, Maddox on the other, Jones probably in the slot, although, again, Maddox and Jones can flip-flop. Mills and McLeod will be your 2 safeties. They want Wallace to eventually be the safety of the future. Jalen Mills is on a 1-year deal, and if Mills doesn't cut it halfway through the season, then Wallace will probably go ahead and be in there, as he had a very good year and a very good career at Clemson. I wouldn't worry about moving right now. Let's see what happens in camp. I think Mills has the upper hand because, of course, he has experience, but if Wallace is as good as they say he is, and they say it's a steal in the 4th round, and I'd go ahead and move him over only if Jalen Mills is going to struggle. Okay, we've had a bad secondary in Philadelphia for a long time. Do we have a top 10 secondary right now in Philadelphia? If you guys think that we do, let me know in the comment section down below. Type Y down below for yes, and type, I believe it's N down below for no if you guys do think we have a top 10 secondary right now in the National Football League. Okay, one more question here, running out of time. Let's see. Jose Torres, who, of course, comments on the Eagles Report, or the Philadelphia Eagles Now a lot. I want to get his question in here. He asked, do you think the Eagles could trade Jeffery for a vet linebacker and sign Everson Griffen, Jalen Hurts, trick plays? Okay, I think he put a lot of, like, 3 questions here in one. First up, could you trade Alshon for a veteran linebacker? No, not a chance. No one is going to take on Alshon Jeffery's contract, which is why everyone who's commenting down below, they'll trade Jeffery, they're not going to cut him, you're dumb, Thomas. No, it's not how it's going to work. He costs too much money. They will not be trading Alshon Jeffery. They will cut him probably right after the July 1st cutting deadline that's out there in the National Football League. So no, there's no way a team would give us a veteran linebacker for him. But I get your thinking. We need a veteran linebacker. We signed Everson Griffen. I talked about that. I would love Everson Griffen. He'd be cheap, $7-8 million a year. Sign him to a 2-year deal and let him basically recreate what Chris Long did for 2 years. That would be fantastic. And the final question here, Jalen Hurts trick plays. I guess he's asking about the Jalen Hurts packages that they're going to run there, which we talked about here on Philadelphia Eagles Now a couple days ago. They're going to run basically a Taysom Hill package on steroids is the report right now. Is that what you're asking? I think it is. Listen, Hurts is a good runner. He had 20 rushing touchdowns at Oklahoma last year and over 1,000 yards rushing. He had like 233 carries. It was unreal, as you see on your screen right now, the stats that he had running the football. And so, yeah, they are going to have trick plays. I think if Jalen Hurts were to just be a backup quarterback in 2020, Eagle fans are going to riot. Like, this is crazy to draft someone in the 2nd round, a team that is close to being a Super Bowl contender, and then not use him, right? He's going to be a weapon. They're going to use him, and hopefully, and again, this is the big thing, hopefully it works out, right? For as much as I don't like the Jalen Hurts pick, and you guys know I've talked about it all week long, Jalen Hurts pick to me is dumb. For as much as I don't like it, I don't wish anything bad on him. I want him to have a good year. If he's proved wrong, that means if I'm proved wrong, it means the Eagles had a good season. It means you guys are happy and the Eagles are going to the postseason, which helps us out here. So I don't wish anything bad on him. I don't want him to just be a backup quarterback. I hope these gimmicky plays work. But I remember a very good running quarterback named Michael Vick, who was a Philadelphia Eagle, who eventually became a good starting quarterback. But that one year, Donovan McNabb's last year, Vick and the whole weird Wildcat stuff didn't work. Two of them on the field, they'd hand the ball off to Vick. It never worked out in Philadelphia until he was actually the starter. And so that's why I'm very hesitant overall for Jalen Hurts. There you go. All the time we have for today for Philadelphia Eagles Now. This mailbag video, we'll probably do some more. There are some ones I left off the board here. We'll do some more questions coming up in the next couple of days. All the time we have for today for Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.